In the heart of a dense, ancient forest, darkness begins to descend like a heavy shroud. A group of friends embarks on a camping trip, unaware of the terrifying horrors that await them. As night falls, the woods come alive with sinister whispers, and the moon casts eerie shadows. Their peaceful adventure is about to turn into a nightmare. The friends, Adam, Sarah, Mark, and Lisa, set up their campsite deep in the woods, surrounded by towering trees that seem to whisper secrets in the chilling breeze. The fire crackled, its warm glow providing a false sense of security as they roasted marshmallows and exchanged stories. As the night wore on, a sense of unease settled over the group. Rustling in the bushes, strange sounds that echoed through the darkness, and an eerie silence from the usually lively nocturnal creatures unnerved them. Adam, the group's natural leader, tried to dispel their fears. "It's just the wind, guys," he reassured, though his voice trembled slightly. Sarah, the most superstitious of the group, couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being watched. "I read about this place online," she said, her eyes wide with fear. "They say it's haunted." Mark the skeptic scoffed at her words. "Don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing as ghosts." But Lisa, the quietest of the group, suddenly pointed into the darkness, her voice trembling. "Did you see that?" A shadowy figure moved among the trees, barely visible in the dim moonlight. The friends froze, their hearts pounding, as the figure drew closer. It was a man, disheveled and covered in dirt, his eyes vacant and his clothes torn. "Help me," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "They're out there." Fear consumed them as they realized they were not alone in the woods. They listened to the man's frantic tale of a camping trip gone horribly wrong, of something inhuman lurking in the darkness, and the disappearance of his friends. With dread pooling in their stomachs, the friends decided to pack up and leave. But as they attempted to douse the campfire, a spine-chilling voice echoed through the woods. Leaving so soon, they turned to see a group of ghastly figures emerging from the shadows, their faces twisted in malevolent grins. The man they had encountered was right. Something otherworldly lurked in these woods. Desperation gripped the group as they fled deeper into the forest, chased by the relentless, ghostly pursuers. The woods seemed to stretch on forever, and there was no escape in sight. Hours turned into an eternity as they stumbled through the night, their strength waning and their hope dwindling. It became clear that the forest itself was a malevolent force, toying with them, leading them deeper into its heart. As they continued their desperate flight, the line between reality and nightmare blurred. Whispers and laughter echoed through the trees, and shadows danced just out of reach. The forest itself seemed alive, a sentient being that reveled in their fear. The story had taken a terrifying turn, and there was no end in sight. The friends' nightmare was far from over, as they battled both the supernatural and the unforgiving wilderness. The friends trudged on, their bodies growing weaker with every step. The forest showed no mercy, offering only darkness and a relentless pursuit by the sinister entities that seemed to be the very embodiment of the woods. As they stumbled through the underbrush, they began to notice strange markings on the trees, symbols that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Sarah recognized them from her online research about the haunted forest. They were ancient symbols of protection, but here, in the depths of the woods, they felt more like warnings. They followed the symbols, hoping they would lead to safety. But the forest played tricks on their minds, leading them in circles, distorting time and space. Their tormentors drew closer, their taunts growing louder, and their ghastly faces more grotesque. Exhausted and terrified, the group stumbled upon a long-forgotten clearing. In the center stood a decaying cabin, its windows shattered and its walls covered in strange, indecipherable runes. The cabin was an island of ominous calm in the chaos of the woods. desperation forced them to take shelter inside. The cabin creaked and groaned as if it too was alive, watching their every move. As they huddled together, they heard a whispered chant, a macabre incantation that filled the cabin with an eerie, pulsating energy. Time seemed to stand still as the walls of the cabin warped and twisted, revealing glimpses of a nightmarish dimension beyond. The air grew cold, and the shadows within the cabin grew darker. Just when it seemed like they had reached the end of their ordeal, they realized they had stepped into something far worse. The cabin was a gateway, a threshold between their world and a realm of unspeakable horror. The group clung to each other, their faces etched with terror as they faced the truth. There was no escape, no way back. The forest, the cabin, the entities, they were all part of a never-ending nightmare, an eternal loop of horror. As the cabin continued to shift and contort, the friends found themselves trapped in a terrifying cycle of torment. They were fated to relive their ordeal again and again, without end, caught in the clutches of the forest's malevolent power. The story had taken a chilling turn, and there was no way to escape the unending nightmare that had become their reality. The friends remained trapped in the never-ending cycle of horror, their screams and pleas echoing through the distorted cabin. They grew gaunt and haggard, their spirits broken by the relentless torment. Days and nights blurred together as they relived their nightmare, each iteration more horrifying than the last. The forest seemed to delight in their suffering, distorting reality and subjecting them to unspeakable terrors. But in the depths of despair, they began to notice subtle changes in their surroundings. The symbols on the trees started to shift, no longer pulsing with malevolence but radiating a faint protective light. The cabin, once a source of dread, now held a glimmer of hope. As the cycle repeated, the friends made a daring decision. They decided to confront the cabin, to decipher the runes on its walls, and to unravel the incantation that bound them to this nightmarish loop. They delved into research, using the resources available in the cabin, poring over ancient texts, and piecing together the cryptic symbols. With each iteration, their understanding of the forest's dark magic grew. With newfound determination, they began to work together, reciting the incantation in reverse, an act of rebellion against the malevolent forces. The cabin responded, its walls vibrating as if in approval. Their efforts paid off. With a blinding flash of light, the cabin released them from the endless cycle. They found themselves back at their original campsite, the oppressive darkness replaced by the first light of dawn. Relief and disbelief washed over them as they realized they had escaped the haunted forest. But the experience had changed them, leaving scars on their souls and a fear of the unknown that would never truly fade. As they packed up their belongings and left the cursed woods behind, they couldn't help but wonder about the mysteries they had uncovered. The forest was a place where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred, where the unimaginable could become reality. The story had taken a surprising turn, but it was clear that the haunting memories of their camping horror would stay with them forever. The friends returned to their normal lives, forever changed by the horrors they had faced. They couldn't erase the images of the malevolent forest, the haunted cabin, and the relentless entities that had pursued them. The experience left them with a sense of dread that never truly faded. Months passed, and the group of friends tried to move on, each in their own way. But the memories of that fateful camping trip continued to haunt them. They couldn't shake the feeling that they had stumbled upon something beyond the realm of human understanding. As they delved deeper into their research, they uncovered unsettling information about the forest. It was a place where reality and the supernatural converged, a nexus of dark forces that had lured countless victims over the centuries. The symbols they had encountered were part of a protection spell, a last-ditch effort to keep the malevolent entities at bay. Driven by a sense of responsibility, they decided to return to the forest, armed with the knowledge they had gained. They hoped to break the cycle of horror, and put an end to the torment that had trapped so many others. With trepidation, they re-entered the woods, their hearts heavy with the weight of their mission. As they approached the cabin, they recited the incantation in reverse, just as they had done during their ordeal. The cabin responded once again, but this time, it revealed its true purpose. It was a guardian, a protector of the forest, bound by the same malevolent forces that had ensnared the friends. With determination and newfound knowledge, they worked together to free the cabin from its dark enchantment. The forest's grip on the cabin weakened, and the ancient protection spell began to shine with an ethereal light. A final surge of power emanated from the cabin, dispelling the malevolent entities and breaking the cycle of horror once and for all. The forest, no longer under the sway of darkness, seemed to sigh with relief. The friends, their mission complete, left the forest behind, this time with a sense of closure. The haunted woods would never be the same, and the malevolent entities that had tormented so many were banished. As they walked away from the forest, the group of friends knew that they had faced their worst fears and emerged stronger. The camping horror story that had once bound them to an unending nightmare was finally over. It was a story of redemption, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. The friends, now bonded by their shared experience and the knowledge they had gained, continued their exploration of the supernatural. They formed a tight-knit group dedicated to investigating and understanding the mysteries that lurked in the shadows. Over the years, they encountered other haunted places, malevolent entities, and unsolved enigmas. Their adventures took them to abandoned asylums, ancient burial grounds, and eerie ghost towns. They became experts in deciphering cryptic symbols, unraveling dark incantations, and protecting themselves from the unknown. Their journey was a never-ending quest for answers, a relentless pursuit of the truth that lay beyond the veil of our reality. They were no longer just ordinary friends. They had become guardians of the supernatural, protectors of the unexplained. Their adventures were fraught with danger, but they faced each challenge with courage and determination. They helped those who had fallen victim to malevolent forces, offering hope to the hopeless and light in the darkest of places. The friend's story was a testament to the enduring human spirit and the unyielding pursuit of knowledge. Their camping horror had been a catalyst, a doorway to a world they could never have imagined. And as they continued to explore the mysteries that the world held, they knew that the unending story of their adventures was far from over. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video as captivating as I did. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so, and leave your comments in the comment section, and let's keep the eerie conversations going. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. Goodbye for now.